r/ask Reddit. Non-drinkers of Reddit, what do you tell people when they ask why don't you drink? I hate telling people that I don't drink because then they ask that question. I usually tell people I don't feel like drinking right now. Not only do I not feel like drinking now, I don't feel like drinking ever again. The real answer is, when I start I can't seem to stop, and health concerns. People get so defensive about why drinking alcohol is okay. I don't get it. Like, you make your decisions and let me make mine. I worked at a liquor store when I was young. I can second this. We opened at 9 AM and every day the same homeless drunks would come in for their pints of booze at opening time. Our cashier would have the pints of cheap booze ready for them daily because they knew what was coming. Second story, same store. I rented a house across the street, a few houses in from the liquor store, before I worked at the liquor store. Well, I'm working at the store for a few months and I realize my landlord, who lives in the upstairs unit of the duplex, is a regular at the liquor store. I quickly realized he was buying 1.75 liter of vodka every few days. For himself. I'll never forget the time I last saw him alive. He walked into the liquor store for his usual 2 handles of Burnett's vodka. His skin was green. Very deep yellow green. At that point of my life, I didn't know what cirrhosis was. I do now. Rest in peace, Pete. What I say, I don't like the taste. What I mean, I don't like the taste. I can't spare the calories. I don't want to spend the money. I don't like the feeling of being buzzed, or drunk or sick. I don't need an excuse to say or do stupid things. I'm doing just fine being stupid sober. I have an addictive personality. I'd rather be the driver. I have an extremely low tolerance anyway. But I like you, and you like alcohol, and I don't want to sound like a preachy as shat. So let's just leave it at me not liking the taste. What I tell people, I don't see the appeal. What it actually is, but takes far too long to explain, and is usually too heavy for a night out. My mum is a recovering alcoholic. I'm far more like her than I care to admit, and I know that for whatever reason, it often runs in families. I also have an obsessive personality, so if I discover I like some alcoholic drink, the odds of me over drinking it are high. Everything people says it does to you terrifies me. Reduced social inhibitions? No thanks. I like mine where they are. Reduced motor coordination? No thanks. My fine motor control is bad enough as it is. I can't say enough about how it doesn't appeal to me at all. And also, 9 times out of 10, Pepsi is cheaper. Because I'm the designated driver. In all reality my family has a long history of addiction to alcohol on my dad's side, and on my bio mom's side she was very abusive while drunk. And I'm terrified of being anything like my mom. And also I'm terrified of addiction. Easy peasy. Grew up in an alcoholic home. Homeless. Always on the run from the law. My grandfathers on both sides were alcoholics. My dad was an alcoholic. My sister is a drug addict and alcoholic. She's living on the street somewhere. I always assumed I was probably an alcoholic too. So, I just never drank the first one. I'm 53 and have never had a beer or any alcohol. I just tell people I don't drink and never have. A friend of mine was poking fun at me once back in high school. Are you afraid to have even one drink? I responded, you've been to my house. He got real serious and said, yeah. Sorry, that was uncool. I just don't drink. I manage a liquor store and tell different reasons. Real reason I don't drink is that I just don't like the feeling of being drunk. Does nothing for me. However, if I say that, people, customers, think I'm either being a snob or that I think I'm better than them, who are mostly raging alcoholics. So I tell them it's because my father was an alcoholic and I didn't want to grow up with the same physical and mental dramas he has, and that I think it's become an actual mental health problem for me. They seem to like that excuse because I appear flawed just like them. I sometimes say that the couple times I've been drunk I was a complete dickhead and put myself and other people in danger, so I quit before I killed someone or myself. They also like that excuse for the same reason. I've been caught out telling the same person both stories, but I can bullshit that away with saying despite not wanting to be an alcoholic like my father, I was still a teenager once and did stupid things and tried it, and it confirmed my greatest fear. I acted just like my dad. I usually tell them I just never wanted to, and if they persist, I say I like not getting hangovers or forgetting things that have happened. I've had quite a few people joke that they would spike my drink just to see what I'm like drunk. I just don't want to drink, and I actually have alcoholic family members. I just don't feel a need to tell anyone that unless I feel like it. If they are rude about me not drinking, I ask why they aren't comfortable with me being sober, or I blankly tell them I have so much fun watching people who have been drinking make fools of themselves that I want to remember it all. I tell people that I just don't see the appeal or point in drinking alcohol. It's actually a little sad sometimes though, because suddenly people stop inviting you to events because you think drinking is not fun, or you don't drink. Why should we invite you? Just because I don't want to drink alcohol doesn't mean I don't want to go out and have fun with friends. Or when they do invite you somewhere, they just try to get you to have some alcohol because they think they can change your mind about drinking. I don't care if people drink, you like it, you do it, as long as you're having fun. But do not try to force it down on me. I don't want to drink. Probably never will. Please respect that. Just because you think it's fun to drink doesn't mean I have to think the same. There are other ways to have fun that doesn't involve alcohol. Oh, something I can finally answer from first-hand experience. I smoked, I ate shitty good, and I did a lot of drugs. I enjoyed drinking and couldn't wait to get drunk. So I can do drugs, plus added to that I had just started a business doing more drugs, and drinking was the only way I could cope with stress, or so I thought. Added to that, the company I kept loved drinking and doing drugs as well. So you get it all in a nutshell. My waking moment was sleeping at 7 AM next to my very patient girlfriend who kept telling it will get better. I lived a life of full destruction for 4 years and this girl persevered through it. My employees probably thought I was a wreck. I had a waking moment where I just got sick of this. I absolutely hated being fat. I hated being upset and angry at the world, and I couldn't just do it. I wanted to stop. It's been almost a year. I'm better for it. I lost 70 pounds along the way and started another new business, and my life is better. So now I just tell people it's a gateway drug and doesn't suit me mentally. I make bad choices when I drink. Nothing good happens when I drink. I can't manage to drink without getting drunk. The truth, somewhat a combination of all those things. I didn't drink until I turned 21, but I immediately began using it to self-medicate. I became the very worst version of myself. It got out of hand. I got myself into a situation where I couldn't defend myself because I was too drunk. I never drank again. That was 500 days ago. I take medication that when mixed with alcohol could cause me to die. Truth is, having 3 drinks one night a week per my doctor would be fine, but I don't really like to drink, so I use it as an excuse, and if they question it, I can pull the medication bottle out of my bag with the big red warning to not drink alcohol while on it. But it's never gotten to that point, except with a doctor friend of my best friend who was curious what I was taking. I tell them that the alcohol industry is lobbying constantly, trying to pass laws that make it easier to market and distribute all across America or wherever you live. They show images of people laughing, having a good time, throwing amazing parties, and living life like it's the dream, when really they don't show you the drunk fathers who beat their children, or the homeless man spending every last dime he has on a 40-ounce beer, day in and day out. They don't show you the bloated, leaking bodies of people who have a wrecked liver, or bodies smeared across the pavement, with a mother grieving the loss of her 18-year-old son who just died in a car accident involving a drunk driver. We are blind. I just tell them I'm on a diet and alcohol has too many calories, or I tell them alcohol is bad for my skin and makes you look older, which is all true. However, the truth is I used to have a bottle hidden in my room, and I was drinking in secret every day. I was failing school and I didn't know why. One day it dawned on me that I was addicted, and I didn't want to end up like other members of my family, who also have problems with drinking, and it's affecting their brain. So I quit cold turkey. It was really hard. I kept an almost full bottle hidden in my closet for a really long time without touching it, just in case I wanted to relapse, I guess, until I finally threw it away. Haven't touched a drop since. It's been a year and a half. I could never tell this to my family, though. No one knows. They just think I'm concerned about my weight.